Hello and welcome to another video from me, Wisewill90 Plays. Today we take on round 8 in season 3 of the exhibition series of the Nations Cup here at the Circuit de Barcelona, the Catalunya Grand Prix layout. So what we're seeing here is we're just seeing the pre-qualifying warm-up. We're going to be using the Motel Altec GTR 16. Quite a varied grid there as well, with nations and with cars. So as we're just waiting for the start of the qualifying, I'll just explain that in this practice just before I was messing around with the brake settings, the balance between front and rear. I have to say it didn't really make an awful lot of difference to me using this car. With regards cornering, it did give me a slight advantage having it all set to rear, with exiting the corners a bit smoother and going into them rather, but in the end we did decide to use the qualifying as TCS is set to mid-range, so 3, and the brakes also at a balance there. So this qualifier we got 10 minutes to do that. Obviously a lot harder because you are on there with other cars as well. We're going to see a little bit of the qualifier, and then you've got the full race after that. 12 laps of the Grand Prix layout, which we actually did in our last video, so somewhat of a revisit there. Obviously we're going to just go for the attack on the qualifying. We're going to go out with the second lap that we're allowed to be timed on, and do our best just to actually get that secured straight away. A lot of people go in after the second, third, fourth lap to change tyres and try again. However, I find it a lot easier just to go out, try and smash it on the first lap, and then see where we end up. So we'll start the qualifier here. We're not going to watch all of this. I say TCS for some reason keeps defaulting back to 0, so we just turn up to 3. Come out in third, so actually we've got a bit of space at the front rather than being mixed in with everyone else, which is handy. So this first lap is very much a warm-up, as you were. Just try and get around it quickly without using up too much wear on those tyres. So yeah, a few cars out now, looks like half the pack's out. Everyone seems to be... yeah, a few left in the pits there, but they'll be coming out in a second. And we're behind this Slidey German. Hopefully we won't sit behind him too long. So as I say, we just want to get around this first lap as quickly as we can, but as smooth as we can without wearing the tyres down too much. We don't have to worry about fuel on this, the qualifying obviously. As you can see, somebody's picked up a penalty in first at the front there, which owing to the fact that it's the Nations Cup, the FIA Nations Cup, then they have that taken off automatically as they pass those new checkpoints that were introduced about a month ago. So coming round the edge of third to last corner, we want to just try and have a good exit speed on this last corner. It doesn't help with people like that driving straight in front of you. But we're going to try and exit with some speed and try and get past him as well down this straight if we can. A little bit wide, a little bit of oversteer there as we go onto the grass verge. So now I'm not sure if the slipstream does actually work in qualifying, but we're staying close behind until turn 1. Bit of early braking just to try and get fluid line around that first corner. A bit wide there. And just holding onto that grip in that corner there. German's still very much in front of us, not giving us a lot of space when we get close to him, so better to hang back a little bit, although we want to get this qualifying lap down and get a good time at the start. So using that Moto Altec GTR 16 model, so we're not going to mess around with any of the settings or anything like that. We're just going to get everything neutral. The actual race as well, we keep our fuel mix at 1, as you'll see. So we're coming up to that inverted corner, we've done a 106 there. And hopefully we're going to end up with a pretty good first lap time. Haven't had too much to deal with regards to traffic as well. Nothing really behind us, very close. As I say, that Germans got a good half a second in front of us. So this is a very tricky final chicane to get through and get some speed on that exit as well. We just tap the throttle and come out and try and stay off that verge as much as possible. There we go, so the first lap's 1:41.830, which might actually be enough. So it's doing us 4th position, but it's only the first lap down to 5th. Now we're going to skip ahead actually. So that 1:41, we didn't improve on that much, half a second or so. So we've ended up in 3rd. Now that qualifier's still got a minute and a half left to go, so we just see where we slip down to. So we've ended up on just under a 1:41 lap time there to give us a 4th position place. Although that inevitably will probably slip down a little bit. Shouldn't see too much judging by the other lap times on there. Everyone's averaging, say, a 1:44 at the other end to a 1:40 top end, so pretty varied, fairly close. So we slid down to 5th there with 50 seconds left of this qualifier. So I've cut obviously a lot of that qualifier out because that first lap we slightly improved on it, but there wasn't much need to show you all of that. And been nudged down to 6th now, beaten by a few hundred, not even 100th of a second, literally 0.005 fifth of a second, so that's absolutely fine. It's going to be a very close first few, starting in 6th by the look of it then, of the round 8 FIA Exhibition Series, which is the Nations Cup. So again, qualifying in position 6 by the look of it, which is absolutely fine, gives us the top end of the pack to work with. Okay, it's time to start. So GR2 cars obviously in this. So a bit of variance on the grid as well, as we shall see. Qualified in 6th, so we're going to try and attack fairly hard. So quite a few people using the Moto Altec GTR. Certainly, I think, yeah. So we got that the L-Toms as well up there. A couple of them at the front. Yeah, so literally a few microseconds in the 5th and 6th position. But let's get this race started. So as you can see, we're going to put our TCS up to 3, have the fuel mix at 1, leave the brake balance right in the middle. So I've got 12 laps of this, so nice place to start as well. We're not on any on that chicane to start, so that's a lot nicer. We're going to be down the back straight. The annoying red arrows going over the top there. So as we started, there's a bit of a gap between us and 5th. Going to accelerate hard down this and brake fairly early, just in case there's a bit of a pile up. Trying to slide in, got some time straight away in this first corner. We go slowly around the inside of this, put our foot down on the exit, and somebody just get through there without being nudged or bashed at all. Oh, had to go a bit wide there, broke a bit late. So now we're up to 5th place. So we come to the 4th corner, hard on the brakes on this horrible corner. Try and exit with some speed on there. So we're creating a little bit of a gap between us and 6th. Not too much, obviously we're only in the first few corners. Just try and get a gap closed between us and 4th. as everyone's pretty much together in the top 4 there. Now to the inverted corner, where no collisions by the look of it, although a bit of scrappiness going in, and we're going to take a slight bit, we're just going to back off a little bit from that, and of course we receive a minus SR point, which is absolutely fine. It's what you expect, Gran Turismo Sport. So coming up to the second to last corner, going a bit wider, going over that curb, over that one, just hitting that apex. I'm trying to get out of that corner flat out without actually that front end going towards that grass verge. So we're going to look to pit around lap 7, possibly lap 8, depending on the position we actually are in at the time. We're not going to pit with anyone else in front of us, so we'll see how we get on with that as the race goes on. So still a bit of a gap between us and 4th. 6th place is closing in on us as well, so we want to really try and catch up to the front view here. Bit of collision there going into that corner, and we're just going to take that position, or try and take that position on the inside. So the question is now who's going to brake first on this. So I'm going to brake quite late and just take that inside line, but come out very wide, but sticking to the track just about there. So we've gained a position on that corner. Now coming down the back straight, got something going on behind us. Hard on the brakes, the inverted corner, going a little bit wide there, trying to regain some stability and try and get some speed out there. Hitting the apexes here, and again a bit wide, trying to get that wheel straight. So now we are certainly with the top 3 racers. Just want to try and maintain the speed through that corner. Again, trying to have that car slide too much away and lose a lot of speed in there. So now 141.462 there. So it's not as good as the qualifying, but obviously not to be expected on the first couple of laps with traffic as well. So we've got Frenchman up in front of us, about 300ths of a second in front. We'll try and gain some time on these corners here coming out. Gained a tiny bit there. So hard on the brakes on the markers for this corner, which is a very harsh false left there as well. Coming down there, just hitting the apex again, going over that, and on the other one just slightly touching that, and braking a tiny bit on the entry for this one. Come out straight, and the Frenchman up in front has gone a little bit wide there, but still maintains his position. Actually gained some time there, I think he did as well, although we're gaining time on our personal lap time. And now that the Frenchman in second place up in front of us are a bit closer, they're going to be resting for some time a bit in place, so we possibly be able to take advantage of them losing a bit of time trying to do that. We've gone very wide on that second to last corner, third to last corner, but we've maintained that speed okay through there. So fuel mix at the one we've got more than enough fuel to see us through another 5 laps by the look of it. Yeah, just gone over lap 4 there, so sorry, absolutely fine with that. Try and hold some of the grip on. The tyre's not faring too badly at the moment, but only 4 laps in. We are going to think about when we're going to have to change them, although using the G29 wheel and pedals, you certainly feel it a lot more, the tyre wear, than you would with a controller, for instance. However, at this moment in time it's not actually that bad. I've still got a lot of grip with them tyres. More felt on that final corner, down the back straight. So the Frenchman in front just going a bit wide and hitting that cone on the exit of that corner, so we're going to take that place there and slip into third, hard on the brakes quickly, and we've gone a little bit wide. They're not as fluid as I'd like. The Frenchman very close behind us. Try and get round this corner as quickly as possible. We've gone very wide there, nearly clipping the gravel. Okay, that corner's absolutely fine. Hopefully the grip in this corner will hold out, which it does. Yeah, so that Frenchman just dropping back a little bit. But we've got a little bit of time to try and catch second and first place now. But possibly that will come with the pitting, which is going to be inevitable very soon for most drivers, I think. Although I should expect that some drivers will try and make it round without hitting too early and trying to use them tyres to the maximum, but so we want a fair balance. We don't want to be losing a load of grip 8 laps in and spin out. So we'll see how they feel after this lap. Gained a bit of time back from second place there. There's them two up in front of battling a fair bit now. Not side by side, but still enough to give an aggressive race. And down the back straight for this inverted corner, braking hardly, and actually we might have to move out slightly just to avoid any collision, but actually we've done okay there. No contact at all, which is excellent. Try and keep our grip in that corner. Coming up to the chicane, clipping the apex on the entry on both of them, and trying to exit with some speed still, which is absolutely fine. And as you can see up in front, they're really battling now. They're side by side more or less, but we're going to try and take advantage of them losing a bit of time. We've actually gained a bit of time in our own personal lap there, so they're pulling out into the middle of the circuit now. We're going to be late on the brakes, and now we are up with the leaders. Tyres now are starting to fare, especially in that corner. I couldn't accelerate as hard as I would have liked out of there, so the back end slowly sliding out. We're actually losing a bit of time now as well, due to the fact that them tyres are starting to wear. And as you see in front, second place is also sliding around on the exits a little bit. So still got enough for 3 laps or so if we want to, fuel wise. However, don't think we're going to last that long on these tyres. But what I think we're going to do as part of this strategy is pit early rather than later. So I think we go in and risk the positions and hopefully gain them back the other end. So you can see them tyres not faring too well at the moment with that screeching there. Coming into the chicane, clipping the apex again, and just going a bit wide there. So we're going in the pits now, a bit of a late decision there. So we've gone into pits in third, got 17 cars on the track, 6 laps. Here we go, coming to pits then. By the time we get in there, we're 6th, 7th place, getting them tyres changed. We've got everyone behind us going in as well. We're just going to get a little bit more than usual fuel, and then we're going to go out. So it says 11th, but we shall exit in 8th place. Okay. So we've got a bit of time to make up now. Hopefully see a return of them positions in a few laps time. But tyres are certainly making a difference. Having them changed now, or even on that corner, just feel that it's a lot smoother. And we've had someone drop out, so now we're down to 16 drivers, including myself, so that's pushed us up to 7th place. Haven't seen any penalties or any collisions, yellow flags so far in this, but I'm sure there would have been some behind us. So 8th place, fairly close behind me. Obviously, as well as come out on fresh tyres, so have similar grip to me around the corners. It's going to be hard to pull away from him, but we want to try and make as much time as possible up, so we can make sure that we do get those places back. And 8th position has dropped right back to almost 3 seconds now, and we've actually gained a bit of time in those last few corners, catching up with 6th position. So you see, first place is now gone in, everyone else should go in. So the magic of strategy means that as we come round the last 2 corners there, in 7th, after these front few going into pits, we transform into that nice first place. And we shall keep that first place, past the pit lane, no one exiting. And as you can see, we've just got next few coming out, so we've taken that pole position now. And there's a good 3-second gap between us and 2nd, 3rd, possibly 4 seconds. It's good 4 seconds, 5 seconds, so halfway through lap 8, and we're hoping that we keep that first position now out of 16. Very late and wide on that corner, however. So tyre's still in really good shape, so we don't have to worry there. We've got more than enough fuel to get around the last few laps. Just got to try and keep this time gap as much as possible between us and 2nd. So quite hard on the brakes for this inverted corner, trying to exit as smooth as we can, keeping that wheel straight on the exit. So far a fairly uneventful race, a couple of near misses, but apart from that, fairly straightforward. And that pit strategy has certainly benefited us by going in that lap early. We've actually massively improved our lap time and set a fastest lap time there as well. Late on the brakes for turn 1. Trying to get this corner right at least once during this race. Just easing off the throttle there as we come around the big right hand sweeping corner for this straight. So still a considerable gap between us and 2nd place. Coming out to about just under halfway on the lap 9 now. Fuel is good, we've got at least 4 laps, which is more than we need. Fuel mix obviously set at 1 still, we're not going to change that ever. Certainly not on a 12 lap race like this with GR2s. Not picked up any penalties either, so no slowing for us. Very late on the brakes for this corner. But actually that's worked quite well, and we've come out with quite a lot more speed than we usually would have. We've had another person drop out, down to 15 drivers now. It's very wide, very bad driving on that corner there. Just trying to still have that grip out that corner, which is absolutely fine. Just clipped the curb there, so lap 10 now. We've lost a bit of time from our last lap. Obviously that's as the tyres are wearing down as well, and that wide last corner entry wouldn't have helped. So this gap to 2nd is closing a bit, so we want to watch that as much as possible and try not to let that close a lot more than that. So hard on the throttle out of that corner. Always braking a bit later than the cones on this. Too early and you end up stopping on that first part of the left-hander. You need to be a bit later to follow it around a little bit. And put your foot down as soon as you see that exit. Just clipping the apex on that and that one. Straight through with a load of speed down this back straight, and now we can see second place in our rear view mirror. I'm going to try and avoid him as much as possible. This is when I'm starting to get distracted and looking at the time between me and second rather than the actual corners, which you don't want to do, because that's when accidents happen. You end up cutting a corner too much, get a nice penalty, and that's the end of your first place win. It's lap 11 now. Can see second place behind us, but there is still a considerable gap. Starting to panic as well in these corners. Been a bit overcautious maybe, a bit jumpy. Still got 2.5 laps worth of fuel, which is more than enough. Still 15 drivers on the grid. We're actually losing a bit of time there. You can see the tyre wear now is starting to be quite noticeable as well. A nice varied mix of corners though on this circuit. Bit jumpy on that corner maybe. Got through that quite well there. So the gap is closing behind us. So we'll try and get as fast out of that corner as possible. So unless we make a mistake around one of these corners, which that's certainly going to cost me some time, we should be okay for that first place victory. So now focusing too much on the actual time gap than the actual corners themselves. Just clipping that apex again, coming into chicane, going in a bit too wide, coming up too far over that curve, but no penalty given for that, so penalty for the corner cutting on this is relatively low as we come down the straight for the final lap. We've got 4 seconds it looks like between us and second place, so now we've really got to concentrate on these corners and make sure we don't make any final mistakes. Fuel light should be coming on any moment now to let us know we've got 1 lap left, which was okay, just the amount we needed, so that's absolutely fine. Bit jumpy around this corner, trying to get losing a bit of time there, not having the wheel completely straight. Braking a lot harder in these corners to make sure we don't go wide, spin out, have any problems like that on the last lap. Into this fairly wide chicane, just clipping the apex on the exit. So not much of a gap now between us and second. As we come down one of the main straights, the fuel lights come on now, but that's fine. It says 1 lap left, braking hard for the inverted corner, being very cautious not to cut anywhere at all. Tapping on the brakes, a bit wide there. Those back end trying to get away from me as we come into the final few corners. And this tight entry chicane, which we're going to clip the apex on the exit, actually land straight, and here's where it could all go wrong. If that front end goes too far in, but we're going to just tap off the throttle, tap back on, full power down the straight, and there we go, there's our first place victory. With the Autons coming in second. Quite a few Autons on there, the Motel on there as well. And there goes a lot of the grid still running there. So coming, there was a 4.5 second gap by the looks of it between us and second in the end, a 13 plus gap after that, so actually we were quite well out in front there. So that pitting strategy definitely worked for us. Using the GR2 on this circuit as well does give you the impression of how fast those corners really are. No penalties picked up by ourselves. Second place has got obviously a previous, and there's our victory for round 8 of the Nations Cup, the exhibition series. Set our fastest lap as well. Didn't get very good points on that, however, but we did finish first in round 8 of the Catalonia Grand Prix Layout. Make sure you like, subscribe to Wise Wheel 90 Plays on YouTube. Thank you for watching.